Hello and welcome to another episode of the Digital Prosperity Podcast with me, Andy Gibbins. Today joined by another new face, Daniel Baker.
Hello.
Daniel's one of our most senior team members, head of client strategy and SEO expert. And that's going to be our focus for today.
Great.
Search engine optimization and its future as part of a marketing strategy. Lots to cover.
With SEO, Andy, there's always lots to cover.
Yeah.
I could be here for a week. But I won't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're going to keep things fairly straightforward today. It is a very big topic though, so I'm going to dive straight in. What better way to start really than at the beginning? So tell us about SEO, first of all. What is it?
Yeah.
And why is it important?
Okay. Yes. So SEO. So basically, Andy, in simple terms, without going too detailed, because I'm known to be a little bit detailed when I want to be, but SEO is really it's called search engine optimization.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, it's the process of improving your website's visibility, or I would say your online presence, should I say?
Yeah.
I would define it, in fact, to define it a bit better, it's organic SEO, because SEO really is all encompassing. You know, you can add search engine optimization for your organic side of your website, so that's how you're found outside of paid marketing.
Yeah.
So they're two different things, but they're both applicable for SEO.
Yeah.
But there is a distinct difference.
Yeah.
But it's also, you can use SEO technically for social media if you want to optimize your social media. But for today, I want to really discuss organic search engine.
Organic search engine optimization. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what it is. Optimizing your online visibility for Google and for potential searchers.
Yeah. Okay. And Google is the number one search engine, has been for many years now.
Absolutely, yeah. There's other smaller fish.
Well, I think the second largest search engine now is YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
Which Google owns.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Bing is the third one.
It is, yeah.
Do you know what the most searched for term on Bing is?
Suppose search will go for it, Andy. Tell us.
Google.
Of course it is. Yeah. I think I remember it. I remember reading that as well. You're quite right.
So when you talk about monopolies, Google literally have it. Yeah. So that's why we focus on it, and that's why it's important to business owners today. As you've just mentioned there's quite a few different types of SEO.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You know, as I say, Andy, it's as I said before, it's about making your online presence more appealing for potential customers. Traditionally, people would see SEO as tweaking little things on your website so that Google likes you more.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more complex than that, you know. And obviously, in 2025, things have changed and there's a lot more to it. But the main types of SEO are what we define as on-page SEO.
Okay.
So that's whereby your website says the right things or highlights the right things that would potentially bring a potential customer to your website or web page.
Yeah.
So what keywords you use on that page, what words are mentioned in relation to what an individual has just searched.
Yeah.
That would be your on-page SEO. You've got your off-page SEO. So how often is your web page or a reference to your business, for example, mentioned externally?
Okay.
They act as votes for Google. Yeah. And Google wants to know how popular are you outside of your own website.
Yeah.
You know? Then you've got the technical SEO. So is it fit for purpose in a nutshell? I won't go into the weeds of that, you know. Is it slow, fast, and all the rest of it?
Yeah.
You've also got local SEO. Sometimes you'll do a search, right, for a plumber, and there'll be a local.
The maps appear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or you might have a page that is specifically to a location, so that's local SEO. And in short, there's a new sheriff in town, and that's the AI element.
Noticed that recently. It comes up at the top now, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Even before the paid ads.
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
A lot of the time the AI results.
Which is the world we're in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go more into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I think that just from my experience as well, is that, you know, gone are the days now of I used to remember speaking to business owners who had white text on a white background,
yeah,
full of keywords.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd have and then they'd have there was like the domain name stuff. So it would be like plumberderby.co.uk.
Yeah.
You know, that was the one. It's like in the Yellow Pages, you should have AAA plumbing because they'd be first in the results. So
absolutely, yeah.
Things have moved on a bit, haven't they?
Just a bit, Andy. Yeah, I could tell a story or two, but I'll leave that for another time.
Well, you know, what are some of the main factors then that influence SEO today?
Yeah. So, I've been within marketing for 20 years plus now.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of experience. So I've seen it all. You know,
yeah.
When it comes to
you don't look it.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll take that. But yeah, things have evolved over time. And,
yeah.
You know, but some of the main factors that influence SEO are things like, I'd say probably the biggest one is relevance.
Yeah.
You know, I've spoken to many a business owner that understand the world of SEO and want to be number one in Google, don't we all? But don't necessarily know the complexity around it, and particularly more than anything is your website relevant to what a potential searcher wants? Because Google doesn't, in all intents and purposes, doesn't really care about you as a business. They want the best result for its customer, its searcher. So relevance is super key. Originality, how readable the website is, its readability. A big one is EAT, which is in short EAT.
Yeah.
You know, so
I've not heard this. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So this is expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Okay.
Google values all of those things, you know. So, does your website display that your expertise in a field, or in an industry, or a subject?
Okay.
Do you pass authority within your content? And how trustworthy is the sources that as a source? You know, how secure is your website and all those things. If Google is sending a potential customer to your website, is it a trustworthy site? And there's lots of subcategories for that, but as a top level, that's a big one.
That's the big one, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And again, things like how mobile friendly, like I say, the speed, site structure, is it complicated? Is it, like I said, secure? You have certificates with websites. Sometimes I don't know if you've been on a website.
Yeah, you've got the
HTTPS.
The security.
The security that will pop up with unsecured. That in 2024-25, that's a must.
Yeah.
So another big one is the backlinks. Backlinks are what we said earlier on about. Are you mentioned on an external site? It's
how many times your domain name appears on the internet, effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And if people reference you and not able to click back to your website, Google will judge you on that as well. There's lots more, like you mentioned, and you're quite right, another big one, domain age. How old's that website?
Yeah.
Is it established? And does it pass authority? So there's always domain authority. But then also the user experience, is the navigation clear? And lots more. But I would say there's some of the main factors, Andy.
Because I think that when you're a business owner and you've got a website, and yes, you want to be found on Google, and you know, it's been around for years. I mean, we were offering SEO 2009, 2010, something like that. That was our offering, and it was relatively straightforward. It was the meta description, it was the meta title tags and stuff. And things have come on. And I always speak to business owners, and they always talk about, Google's changed, or Google's moved its goalposts. And actually, when you look at it, it hasn't really. What's happened is that Google's view is they want the most relevant search result for that particular search term.
Absolutely.
What's happened is people have just tried to cheat the system throughout years, haven't they? So the white text on white background guide, the certain domain names. I remember when you talk about backlinks. I remember, what was it called? Spinning.
Yep.
Is that still a thing? Is that still allowed today?
Yeah. Just for those that don't know what spinning.
Oh, sorry, I'm going too technical here, but
you are going technical. I chose not to. I told you, Andy.
I know. But it came in my head just then.
Yeah, you could just chuck a domain into software, it would spin it, and produce load of backlinks and for some websites out there that would actually get you 1 or 2 Google rankings, but those are the yesteryears, Andy.
I know. They soon came crashing down. Those days didn't last long.
No, absolutely.
We could, you could get people on the first page of Google in weeks doing things like that.
No.
Today, though, it's a long-term strategy.
Completely, Andy.
And I think that so when you're looking at doing that, and you're investing in search engine optimization, that's what it is. You have to see it as an investment. Okay, so it forms part of that inbound strategy. So you talked about paid advertising, and pay-per-click, and I've mentioned it already that it appears above. Lots of people will think that SEO takes too long. What would you say to that? Why would you do SEO over pay-per-click?
Sure, Andy. So, if I had a penny for how many times I've had similar conversations, Andy. So, what I won't do is try to make it overcomplicated. I'm going to try and keep it simple. Google Ads, pay-per-click, has its place. In fact, not just Google Ads. Social ads. I saw. He had a conversation a session with Kerry, who heads our social media. She was talking about social media, and there's a degree of SEO in social media as well. But when it comes to SEO versus paid ads, with paid ads you pay to be number one or on top of the search engine, but it's short term. And you're as only as visible as your money allows, or your wallet allows, and so I wouldn't say it's a short-term solution, but it has its place because you're only renting space for whilst you've got a budget for it. Whereas organic, and you mentioned long-term, what you're doing is building a foundation over a long period of time, of which will be evergreen when you get to the top of Google or on the first page of Google. So when your budget runs out and paid, you're gone. When you put in the work and you get to page 1 of Google, as long as you maintain that and do the right things and things we've discussed, you stay there. And it's evergreen content. Your website will regularly drive visitors and ideally inquiries for small to medium-sized enterprises and larger enterprises.
Absolutely. I think ideally you'd probably do both, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
They're not. Sure. It's not a choice, and I think that's the thing that I try and say to business owners as well. It's not one or the other. No. Ideally, you should do both. Affordability comes into that place in the sense that a lot of business owners feel that they have to choose. So lots will turn to paid ads because it's the quicker return.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the longevity, what they should be doing is, I always compare it to buying versus renting a house. Is that SEO is owning your property, paying your mortgage every month. Paid advertising is, you're renting from Google.
Absolutely,
Google's your landlord, essentially. So they both have their place, and actually they can work really well in tandem. Pay-per-click is really good for keyword research and keyword testing.
For sure.
So there's lots of advantages.
A quick story. As I've worked with lots of clients over the years, we had a strategy exactly like you've described. So we ideally, as a client, that he wanted to be found for lots of different phrases. And so we had an understanding, and collaboratively, I work with lots of clients, and we highlighted keywords that he wasn't coming up for organically, and we also created a Google Ads account or Google pay-per-click, and we targeted all the keywords, or not all, and there's many keywords as we prioritised that we weren't coming up on the first page of Google for by using the Google Ads. And the ones we didn't include them in the Google Ads. Because that, just like you've highlighted, we leverage both strategies because they both have their place. And we got found organically for the ones, obviously, that we managed to get to page 1 of Google, and the ones we were working on over a long-term period, we will target in the Google Ads. And that's a cracking strategy. It worked really well. Well. That would be one of my recommendations.
Well, we're going to come to my silver bullet as we go along today. But I think the big thing that I think a lot of business owners will feel is, because a lot of them would have done it before, tried it, not really worked, maybe gone from page 8 to page 4 for something, not really stuck it out, not seen the value. So my question to you is, why in today's marketplace, why is SEO important to business owners?
Sure, yeah, good question. I suppose to reiterate a bit of what I've just said, I would say great SEO, and I'm not going to just say organic SEO. I'm saying great SEO, because you really need to understand and know what it takes to get good organic Google rankings. So I'm going to say great SEO. It's sustainable. As I said, it's vital for business growth, I would say. And obviously, in the digital world we're in at the moment, it influences discoverability. At every stage in a customer's journey, there's a potential keyword that your potential customers are searching for.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, someone else is, whether that be a competitor or what have you. And that's we're in an economy now where it's doing that, and how you grow your business or push your business forward is being at the forefront of things and understanding that's where my market is. That's where the market is. There's nothing, so you want to work to do that, to be there.
You can't get away from it today.
Yeah.
And I think that the big thing that business owners have to understand, as a society, we live in a society of people who don't want to be marketed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are naturally evasive of advertising, and actually we're very good at it.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Whether that's fast forwarding TV ads, changing radio stations, we don't buy print. You don't have to convince people. With marketing traditionally, you had to convince people that they needed it.
For sure.
SEO, you don't have to convince them that they need it because they already want it.
100%.
And that, I think, tells its own story.
Yeah, for sure.
The battle is getting there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the challenge. And it's important to see the growth, to see the progression. We talked about AI.
Yeah.
And obviously, going into 2025 next year, what are your thoughts on the growth of AI and SEO? What impact will that have on SEO going forwards?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I've got a lot, Andy. First of all, before I move on to that, as a business, we should all understand that buyers have evolved.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the key things. That you made a really good point just there, is that potential customers they can go out and seek information, and that's the really key point. And so having a great online presence, a great SEO, means that when they're going out as evolved potential customers, they can make their own call, their own decision on who they click, what they click, and where, and who they engage with. And to your point about AI, I'm sure we've all seen, I'm sure the listeners have all seen, that AI is, particularly in 2025, is going to become more and more a more and more influential part of how we use the internet.
Yeah.
On a wider picture. But from an SEO perspective, you're all seeing Google searches, and the AI is now starting to appear at the top. And to kind of summarize that, Google have built that into its algorithm, and we'll touch on algorithms in a bit. But they've built that into the way it assesses what it shows, and it can gather data from various sources and summarize that in an AI overview.
Yeah.
Is what's called AI overview. So more and more we're going to see, and particularly in 2025 and beyond, Google gathering data for us and presenting it as a search result.
Can you get into that then? Can your website, if you're a business owner, can their website appear in the AI overview?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm working with clients today that we're doing things to help influence that. But in short, yes, there's... your question was, I believe, how AI is going to be influencing.
What impact will it have?
That's it.
Will it have? Will AI have on SEO today?
You're going to see more and more of AI being a bigger factor of the SEO results you will see in Google. You'll see more and more, and it's really one to get excited about, embrace.
Yeah.
Because there's a wealth of opportunity there. It's all about, and I refer back to my original point about relevancy and readability and value. That's a massive one. Google's trying to provide value via doing the legwork for potential searchers. So that's the impact it will have on AI. We're going to need to understand that at a higher level. Producing our website and the content on our website needs to provide value for potential customers, because that's our best chance of featuring things like the AI.
Yeah. Does it run the risk of like duplication, in the sense that, like, say you've got two businesses who both use AI to create a piece of content or whatever, like which one is original? Which one does Google value most? Which one's more trustworthy if they're getting it from the same source?
Now, this is a fantastic question. People that, you always say buyers evolve. We're all evolving, Andy. So we're in the infancy stages of AI.
Yeah.
Both for the results and how we produce content, all those things. We're all in the infancy. For a lot of us, it's very new.
Yeah.
But the generation coming up, it's going to be second nature. Quite frankly, Google doesn't mind AI. Doesn't have any problems with it. Google's also using AI in its own results, like I've just said.
Yeah.
All Google cares about is value.
Yeah.
So if you utilize AI to provide value, Google will like you for it.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. And again, that's going to evolve, and it's going to get more and more detailed. I don't mind telling you, I'm learning every day. You know, and then I will. I like to grow my knowledge, Andy.
Yeah.
But that's the short of it. Yeah.
But it's always evolving. The world of the internet, it never
Yeah.
stops. So we have to keep learning. Where else then? Obviously, we talked about AI. I'm sure we can go into a lot more detail. We won't go into that today, but just more interest in the general future of SEO, because I think people have over it was a huge thing 10, 12 years ago, and I think that people in many ways take it for granted a little bit now, or don't really place as much importance to it. People use LinkedIn for prospecting and stuff like that, and or their website appears, or they don't rely on it as much. So I question really is there a future for SEO? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, for sure. Another good question. Absolutely, is my answer to that. I would say, as humans, we will always supersede on every level.
Yeah.
AI, if that makes sense. And I'll articulate that a little bit better, Andy.
I don't know. I've seen some films that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what I should say then, let me in fact use that as an example. Those films didn't appear from nowhere.
Yeah. What was it? iRobot?
Maybe.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Is it the one with Will Smith?
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'm thinking of,
Great
yeah.
film, by the way. I love that film. But a human was at the beginnings of creating that.
Yeah.
So AI is designed to help us as a world.
Yeah.
To facilitate us. And so that's why I mentioned about AI, and you're right to highlight the point is duplicate content, and you can't just pinch copy from somewhere else and just use it as your own. But what you can do, what you should do, is embrace AI and understand that AI is there to help you provide value to across the board.
Yeah.
Not just in SEO. AI is there to help provide value in all those things. You mentioned iRobot. It's designed to provide a better experience for someone, right?
Yeah.
That's the end goal. And so, as far as the future for SEO, you'll always need to have great SEO. You'll always need it. What will be different, Andy, is what's involved in doing that, and AI will have its place. And I say we don't have to go into the weeds of it, but you can use AI to understand your market, use AI to help you understand what people are searching for, understand that there's a summary of results in the AI overview when someone does a Google search. So what does Google want you to provide? Easy access, readability, and as I say, anyone that's using the internet or lands on your website, is there an AI feature that would help add value once they're on your website? So what that looks like, we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But at the top level of all of that, people will always do Google search.
Yes.
And you will always have to do the right things so that Google sees you as the optimum choice to show its potential searchers and your potential customers.
And if it doesn't, in the sense that, say you come up for something that isn't relevant to the searcher doesn't blame you, blames Google.
Absolutely.
So what does Google do? Blames you.
Absolutely.
And penalises you.
Absolutely.
And drops you down. Charges you more money if you're doing paid advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really important that it's not going away. Google's only going to get bigger and it's only going to get stronger. So the time now is to act, and the time now is to look at it.
Yeah.
For both for the today but mainly for the future. Like, if you want to be found on Google next year, you needed to start last year.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and this is the harsh reality, and I say this from the point of expertise, and I've seen Google do this. If you don't embrace or understand what you need as a business, you will get left behind.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. And it doesn't mean it's not a negative thing to say. It's just the world we're in. You know?
Absolutely. So it's been a great discussion today. Yeah. I've really enjoyed it, and there's so much more that we can go into.
Absolutely. But I'm trying to hold back, Andy.
I know, but I think final thing that I ask everybody that comes on is: the business owner is in front of you now.
Sure.
One actionable tip that you would give a business owner about SEO or using SEO to drive their business forward. What are you telling them? My silver bullet.
Okay, Andy, I'm going to have to try to restrain myself and not
articulate it into one point I'm looking for.
Okay. I'm going to say provide value through.
Expand on that for me.
Okay, great. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for that.
I'll allow you to do that.
It was a so. We spoke about AI a lot today, which is effectively the future of SEO.
Yes.
Or part of the future of SEO. AI is not designed to replace us as humans. It's there to help provide value. So if you think of everything that you associate with AI, reverse engineer it, and at the start of that, or at the top of that, you will see the goal of it is to provide value.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So I'll give you an example. One of the questions I get asked is, don't want to write, because we don't, as part of marketing, we write things like content and one thing I would always say, never just take AI and just place that on your website. You know, because what you're missing if you do that is whether that provides value. That's one of the top things you're missing.
Yeah.
First of all, you've got things like there's ways Google with its algorithm. I haven't touched on it today, but Google are regularly checking their algorithm to see how much value your website provides. Are you just taking content from somewhere else, placing it on yours? Have you just popped a keyword into Google, into AI and created an AI article?
Yeah.
All those things Google is able to check. But you can use, and absolutely should use, AI to help facilitate and create content that is going to provide value. Google is fine with that. Happy, you know? So I would say the silver bullet is focus should always remain on human-centered content. When you're creating content, or when you're designing your website, when you're changing, when you're adding content to your website, any guys, You as a human should understand what your potential customers want,
Yeah.
but you can use platforms like AI to help facilitate that, but also understand that AI is going to be, your content is going to be influenced by AI.
Okay.
And by influenced, I mean, you'll see, as I say, you'll see in the search results, it says AI overview and summarize the content. So, silver bullet, embrace change, but always remember human-centered content that provides value.
Yeah.
And you won't go wrong.
Got it.
Is that a good summary, Andy?
I think that's a good summary, yeah.
Yeah?
And I think, like we've talked about many times, I can expand on so much.
Yeah.
And you can expand, I can ask so many more questions. But I think that's going to be all for today.
Yeah.
It's been a fascinating discussion. I'm going to definitely invite you back next year.
I'd love to come back, Andy.
Because I think there's some other bits and pieces that we can go into here and drill down into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's been a really good discussion today. Next month, I've got another new face. Technically two, because I won't have a moustache.
Of course, yeah.
This is November. So,
yeah, I've got used to you being like
I know,
that now.
I know. But, not many other people will. So,
Okay.
but I've got Charlotte coming. We're going to be
great.
talking about building a website in HubSpot.
Oh, fantastic, yeah.
So it's going to be lots of good fun there in the lead up to Christmas. And so everyone, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
It's been great having Dan on. And see you soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.